Hi guys, I hope all is well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Asif Sajad and we learn here project management. Today our topic is very interesting. Today we will discuss Agile Manifesto of Agile Project Management. The Agile Manifesto came about as the result of the meeting in February 2001 that brought together a number of software and methodology experts who then defined the Agile Manifesto and Agile principles. Now, listen carefully. Agile Manifesto for Agile Software Development. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value number one, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Second, working software over comprehensive documentation. Third, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Fourth, responding to change over following a plan. While the Agile Manifesto is simple in structure but sparse in words, there is lot of good stuff in the four values. Understanding the ideas that are being conveyed is important for the application of any agile methodology on real world knowledge worker projects. Even if they are not software development projects, the format of A over B, such as individuals and interactions over processes and tools. This thing addresses intentions, focus, and effort. It is not as black and white or simple as do A instead of B. Instead, it is acknowledging that A and B will likely both exist on projects, but that we should apply our focus, emphasis, and intentions to A more than B. With this in mind, let's look at these four statements in more detail. Keep in mind, although the Agile Manifesto uses software development terms, but please think about how the concepts also apply to other types of knowledge worker projects. Let's discuss first value, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. The message here is that while processes and tools will likely be necessary on our projects, we should try to focus the team's attention on the individuals and interactions involved. Why? This is because projects are undertaken by people, not tools, and the problems get solved by people, not processes. Likewise, projects are accepted by people. Project scope is debated by people, and the definition of a successfully done project is negotiated by people. Focusing early on developing the individuals involved in the project and emphasizing productive and effective interactions help set up a project for success. This is not to say that processes and tools cannot help in successfully completing a project. They are certainly important assets. And for those of us who have an engineering background, we, we may naturally tend towards the logic and predictability of processes and tools. Yet, projects are ultimately about people. So, to be successful, we need to spend the majority of our time in what may be the less comfortable, messy, and unpredictable world of people. Suppose if you tend towards processes rather than people, the first value of individuals and interactions over processes and tools is a great reminder of where to focus your time, energy, and passion. The second value is working software over comprehensive documentation. This value speaks to the need to deliver. Software projects are typically initiated with the goal of creating valuable, high quality software. Yet they often get caught up on interim deliverables such as extensive documentation that does not support the ultimate goal of working software. Software without documentation is certainly problematic and hampers sport and maintenance. But comprehensive documentation without software is next to valueless to most organizations. With the move to make software development more of an engineering discipline in the 1980s and 1990s, there was a heightened demand for documentation. And because this period was also the advent of increasing large teams, complex software systems, and a legacy of undocumented, unsupportable applications, such documentation was essential. Many software developers are detail oriented and process driven. Although these characteristics are often highly beneficial, they can also mean the developer's focus can easily be distracted from the real reason they are undertaking software projects to write valuable software. So, the Agile Manifesto's emphasis on valuing working software over comprehensive documentation acts as a necessary and useful reminder of why these projects are commissioned in the first phase. To build something useful, documentation by itself or at the expense of working software is not useful. The third value is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This value reminds us to be flexible and accommodating rather than fixed and uncooperative. It is similar to the difference between being right and doing the right thing. We could build the product exactly as originally specified, but if the customer changes their mind and priorities, it would be better to be flexible and work toward the new goal as opposed to the goal that was originally stated. It is notoriously difficult to define an upfront, unchanging view of what should be built. This challenge stems from the dynamic nature of knowledge worker products, especially software systems. Software is intangible and difficult to reference. Companies rarely build the same systems twice. Business needs change quickly, and technology changes rapidly. Rather than beat up the client with a change management process, that is really more of a change suppression process. We should recognize at the start that things are going to change, and we should work with the customer throughout the project toward a shared definition of done. This requires a more trusting relationship and more flexible contract models than we often see on projects. But it again moves the emphasis from non valuable adding activities to productive work. Fourth value is responding to change over following a plan. As we just discussed, initial plans are sometimes inadequate. Instead of investing effort in trying to bring the project back in line with the original plan, we should spend more of our effort and energy responding to the inevitable changes on the project. But this does not mean the Agile Manifesto is suggesting we abandon planning and just react to changes. We still need to plan, but we also need to acknowledge that the initial plans were made when we knew least about the project at the beginning. And as the work progresses, we will need to update the plan. The importance of responding to change over following a plan is particularly true for software projects, where high rates of changes are common. Again, instead of suppressing changes and spending a lot of time managing and tracking a largely static plan, we need to acknowledge that things will change. Agile projects have highly visible queues of work and plans in the form of backlogs and task boards. The intent of this agile value is to broaden the number of people who can be readily engaged in the planning process, adjust plans, and discuss the impact of changes. The Agile Manifesto is not a set of rules telling us to do one thing instead of another. It is more subtle and more powerful. It guides us to consider projects from a value based perspective. Yes, we need processes, tools, documentation, and plans on our projects. Yet, while dealing these assets, we should remember that our focus must be on the people engaged, the product we are building, cooperation, and flexibility. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel, Project Management Tutor. Take care.